I'm riding my horsey. I love riding my horse. I was so excited when the unicorn previews because I get to whip out my horse ride. I'm a big horse rider guy. It's just like
Are you a pony
even
guy? Are
oh
you a MS Paint Adventures?
yeah, I'm a brony.
You're a brony.
Those are guys
So
who like
I
stuff.
peg you as a Twilight Princess kind of guy. Are you like a
No, you're totally wrong. I mean, Nightmare Moon, I believe, is the name of one of them. Uh,
sparkle? You
I'm
know,
pretty sure.
this is a real cultural touchstone, even like a nerd culture touchstone that I don't know, I know nothing about. Flutter Shade or something. I know Jim like has
I'm
one.
pretty sure there's one called Nightmare Moon, which I always thought was a pretty fun name for like a my
Isn't
because it's
Jim
got
Chatham a
night.
brony secretly?
He went to a well, he not secretly. He went to a brony convention. Like that's a thing that he did once. He dressed up as Rarity.
That man is like a paradox wrapped in an enigma
I
in a
don't,
puzzle.
you know,
If you, fair
I
viewer, have not had the pleasure of Jim Chatham, well, fix it as quickly as possible.
best not to contemplate. So let us begin the unicorn previews. Last and I think in my opinion, least. Definitely least is what I'm going with the unicorn previews.
Not actually the last. We still have unaligned because we do it
I meant
the correct
like
order,
last
not
in the
by the
way that
order
we
that they're
do it.
printed.
Yeah. I just wanted to do my least joke. Like it's not last in
Oh,
any complexion.
I wanted
I
to do an
wanted.
illogical card set ordering joke.
It's really fun that you won't allow me to have a single moment. They're just like no quarter, Paul. You can have no nice things.
You can have something nice. You can have this card. It is a 7 force or 7 gold for 3 force card that interacts with honor cards and Phoenix personalities.
If it has more force, is non-human, is Phoenix, or has no attachments. Boy, that's a lot of text, isn't it? Like that's they really. It's like, do you think it started out with like target an enemy card, bow it, and they're like, no, let's back it up. That's like something we
Back
put
up.
on a unique.
Whoa, whoa,
How
whoa.
about if it has no attachments? Well, that's good, but now it's about too many attachments. Well, what if it's non-human or Phoenix? Can we move on? Like I don't.
What I love about
It's
this
not an
guy.
un, it's not an unplayably bad card, but it's a pretty bad card, and you probably shouldn't play it.
It's a rare.
And this is great because it includes the crappy spider. Well, he wasn't crappy, but the spider guy who gives your honor cards courage. At least that you like had a fear effect built in, so you could sort of see the immediate value of it. This guy didn't even have a fear effect. He's just like he's better than that, but it's just
It's
I hate.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting they gave this guy like he cares about his force and their force, not just give him fear equal to force with plus whatever if it's
Yeah.
Phoenix 9.
So
So
and
I
like,
think
the more force thing is a callback to his original edition, which is in Ivory, I think.
mm-hmm.
Maybe it's before Ivory, but I remember him saying, and like his original is like target a non-unique dude with more force and bow it, right? So like but this is an experienced guy. You should be better. I don't like him. I don't.
I don't like that they put this ability on a 3 force guy. Like I actually would like this card more if he was like 5 gold and 2 force. You know what I'm saying?
Like his non-unique basic version was sure.
I'm just
I
saying
just
like
feel like
because he cares about force, but then they gave him the most common like force value of all force values.
3, 4, 7 gold cost guys need to have a better ability than that to make it into a deck. They
Yeah.
just do. On to the Death Priest, the Priest of Death, Moto Dai Ketsu. Okay,
Now
there's a lot.
I know for a fact that Brian Reese watches some of these. The Foo Rule thing, my whole spiel about whippoorwills and guys on horses and like art matching, like this one's just a total miss. This is not a naval card nor a cavalry card, but please go.
Right, so I was gonna wrap around back to that, but yeah. So the thing we like about this card is that it's a naval Shugenja, right? Like we like naval Shugenja.
I love 5 gold naval Shigenja.
And this guy's got water, so I like naval. The problem is that this is a battle ability. That, like when you read it, that like first you have to take your moment, like equal to force plus number of spells. If there's a dead, please wake up. Stop falling asleep. Wake up! Wake up! It's okay. You can keep going. It says so. It can just be a naval fear effect, but again, if it's naval battle fear of arbitrarily large value, is that good enough for 8 gold?
A
I
bow
think
fear
probably
too.
not.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
like
think probably not.
as a design principle. I don't know why they decided that fear should ever be a bow action. Like when is bow to bow ever worth it?
Well, if there is a dead in any personality or mantis trait, so a lot of times not. But yeah, I don't want to have to work to get my crappy fear effect online. So this is a card that you make him 5 force and you can sell me on it with like put a follower on him and take provinces single handedly. But at 8, I just think he's a overpriced crap, just crap.
You know what I think about Sugenja these days? When like playing a lot of Sugenja decks and testing them, I've found that the first 3 to 5 guys you buy, like they all get attachments and they get loaded up. So I always ask myself, like, if it's turn 5 and my guys are already loaded and I've already played out my hand and I buy this guy out of province and he's one of the like the naked schmucks that's off to the side, does
Yep.
he add any value to the army? The answer is
That's a great
no, not at
point.
all.
He's so bad as your 5th personality in play, where it's like I don't want to devote any more resources to him. What does he do? He's gonna bow for a fear 3 effect. He's just is really ugly.
I
He's
guess the
really
flip side of
ugly
that
when he
point is like if he's your 5th guy, that's probably a dead guy. So like he's a no bow fear 3, and at that point like he's slightly better than some of the other options that Unicorn has, where it's like, oh, I can bow
still
to
pretty good.
interrupt my fear effect to make it destroy attachments or something.
Yep.
So I like
I,
this guy better than that guy, but this guy, I'm trying to think of the one that's like, the floating Death Priest guy with purple energy. It's a void guy, like two
sure.
force. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I like this guy better than that guy, but I think that one's 5 or 6 gold. This guy's 8. The 8 is
6
just
gold.
it's so much gold, man.
I can't get behind this guy as I think he's too expensive. I think it could be a guy that you're paying too much for the cavalry trait for and not getting value. It's so hard to leverage these 8 gold cost cavalry guys with 3 force. It's just it doesn't quite work the way you want it to work, and yeah, it's just a total miss for me.
I think he could pop
Um,
up as a role player. Like I think again on that
Even in the
logic of
Shugenja decks, I in Shugenja decks, I mean, I'd rather just play a bunch of the unaligned 5 gold cost Shugenjas. I just don't see where or experienced banished at 7 gold. I just feel like this guy loses all of his space to other better Shugenja personalities. Like whoa,
all right, talk about
you have to be dedicated to playing only Unicorn Shugenja or
to play
something.
that guy. Yeah, I hear you. Talk about
Let's
Moto
talk
Juntan.
about the relative. Hey, look, it's Miyukin with Resilient, and I'm done. Please proceed.
I like that he gives his followers resilient. This is something that we saw before on another. Like, they're exploring a little bit with like giving the attachments attached to a resilient guy resilient, and that's
That's a
cool.
fair point.
He only gives cavalry followers, which is one of these like just hashtag SMH moments. Like why?
Keyword game, baby. Let's play it.
Let's play
Yeah.
it. It's like you picture people in Rokugan like, Jones-sama, do you care for a rousing game of keyword?
That's exactly. I just love this idea that he's a commander, but he's only able to command like horses. He can only like
How
boss
does a
or
man
so
on
he's not
foot
on.
command horses,
He's
though?
not. Yeah, right. He's not on horses himself, but he
It's
only
like
gains the confidence to be a commander when the other people are on
everybody,
horses.
everybody
Like
else,
much
charge!
like dude,
I'll be back
much,
here.
Imagine dudes show up with like spears or they're on foot. He's like, I don't know how to talk to these people. But if those same dudes show up riding horses, he's like, I got this. I speak their language now. I can.
It's
I
been
know.
established via the Beastmaster cards that guys that hang out with quick animals but not ride on them can be cavalry.
That's right.
So I don't see any reason why this guy, by virtue of hanging out with the horses all the time, couldn't himself become cavalry.
Because he'd have too much stuff going on if he just like stapled on the cavalry keyword.
All right, whatever.
So I mean,
I actually quite like this guy. I
fine
think
as yeah. I mean, like he's in a bunch of decks because he's 3 force for 4 gold. He's got samurai
right.
resilient. I
Here's
don't know. Look, your cavalry followers also have honor. Eh?
Okay,
Eh?
stop trolling me. Here's where I like this guy. I'm playing like a unicorn big stuff, and I'm playing Legion of the Khan, and I'm playing Trained Horsemen, and then I want to round up my deck with like some little stuff to cheap up the dynasty side a little bit, and I play Moto
Sure.
Juntan, and it opens up plays like Attach, Legion of the Khan to Jungzan defend, make my range 3, pass, and like with the trait, like it's sufficiently difficult to shoot the followers so they pass through and I lose, but nothing dies and I get some value out of that.
I was thinking one of the sort of reprinted rare followers in 20 festivals was Camel Mounts. It's the one that gives your dude cavalry and has cavalry and will only go on a human and moves you in. And I was thinking, like, this guy's great with Caval Mounts as a, like, I give him a Caval Mounts, now I got a 6-force cavalry unit, and both cards have resilient, and so he can sort of move in and do defensy stuff really effectively. Like, I can absolutely see playing him and use.
I like that you can be aggressive with it,
Yep.
like with the cavalry trait, just like you've got a cavalry guy, I got a cavalry guy, like screw it, I'll just cav in and see what happens. Like
absolutely.
The way that Ivory battles work, or the way that I guess 20 festivals battles work, is that they're not that lethal. Like you don't have to worry about deliberation, shoot off your big follower, and then like triple whatever, shoot off your guy. I mean,
and what if you give them just like a heavy cavalry and play Tatakan Sensei, and you're just like, I defend with my resilient cavalry follower, and I bow to my sensei and shoot you? Like, there's a lot of, and you can make that interaction because, heavy cavalry is just a full force follower for 6 gold, and just like, here's a 7 force for 10 gold cost unit would be acceptable. There's a lot of these kinds of plays you can make. You can give them a mounted support, so now you've got a personality with Conqueror and Resilient, and the follower has Resilient, so now he's very attacky and defendy to play, various like send home effects. There's a lot you can do with this guy as a platform, and he's still cheap, efficient force. He's a really good card.
Yep, big hit for me. Shinjo Dagana. I haven't read this card yet, but I know me. I hate it. Let's go on this journey together. It's like he's not on a horse. He's got like a terrible mustache. He looks really smug. He's a magistrate. I know it's going to be an honor card.
It's a good. Let's go get some dodongadongs. That's like do you catch my Zelda game reference?
Give a target enemy personality -2 force. Dishonor the target if she or she has lower personal honor.
I got it. I'm always so pleased when I can sort of incorporate these video game memes. I got that right, yes?
You got it right.
Yes! Let's go eat some dogs.
All right. I don't have anything to say about this card. Paul, you talk about this card. I have nothing positive to say.
Yeah. Okay, so did you read it all the way through?
I read it all the way through to the end.
Okay, so
I can write my book report now.
So it's clearly meant to work with the sensei from 20 festivals, which I'm willing to bet you do not know what it does.
This is so unfair, man, that you looked that up before the video. We were just talking about this guy before we started recording.
I didn't look it up. You look it up. I was pretty sure I knew it. And I tried to shout it out, and you refused to sort of play the game with me, and now you're paying the price.
Okay, the price is being paid. Smugly tell me what this sensei does.
Okay, so the sensei is like, bow your unbound magistrate, and you target a dishonored guy, and they re-honor, and you gain honor equal to that dishonored guy's pH. And that's how that works. So it's worse than that, because there's something about, I think they have to have more honor than you for it to work, because I think that's how it works. I'm not going to go look. That would be cheating. But anyway, this guy's clearly been with that sensei, right? It's like the home interrupt. It's like, when you use the sensei, you'll gain an extra point of honor. Hooray.
Hooray.
And, yeah. And he's got a crappy give 2 force, but dishonor it if their pH is lower than dong and whatever. It's unplayable trash, right?
Hold on, though, because we quite like these -force plus dishonor abilities in an action. So like, why do we like the one card from the last set that's -3 force, dishonor, and 0, but we hate this? Because
-2 force is not -3 force, and because you're not paying for an overpriced personality.
Hey, that was easy.
Like like 7 gold as opposed to a 0 gold thing. So the problem is like, what would the stats on this guy need to, like, if he was 4 pH, you could say, okay, he goes in every honor deck and he's 4 pH.
Right.
If it was like 4 force, 4 chi, he might have enough militaristic oomph that you could then justify him. But I mean, he's so terrible. You're gonna like give him a -2 force dishonor or something, and then get shot in the face. To me, this guy's just crap. They didn't even give him cavalry. I don't. It just seems bad to me. Does it seem just bad to you?
I knew it was going to be bad before. I like looked at the picture and I knew it was going to be a mess.
So, I mean, I guess you're paying a lot for the magistrate keyword, which isn't at all worth it. So,
Not even a little bit. Let's talk about a 5 gold cost. Let's talk about Boxable Destin, guys. Let's wash our mouths out with some Listerine. Like, so that happened. And now here's a Boxable Destin personality.
not really possible because of the honor requirement. Perfectly fine filler. If I have to play magistrates, which it turns out I don't actually have to do, so thank God, because let me tell you,
There's
but if
a
you
keyword that I never liked.
if you were like taking my arm and like twisting it so
That's
that
not
you
true.
can't,
There was a time
so
when you actively looked for magistrates to play.
yeah, when I had restoring order,
Yeah, when you had Kitsuki Vengeance
yeah, like that's
or
like
Kitsune
yeah,
Judgment or whatever.
yeah, there was plenty of time, but not in Ivory or post Ivory. This guy's fine filler. Like he's actually probably a lot more what you want in your honor deck because he's 3 PH for 5 gold
This
as
guy is
opposed to
great
7.
in honor, yeah.
And he gives you a Destin card, and you'll be able to hit the 7 honor wreck no problem. So he's triplicate in that deck, and
Like if this was a
okay,
Crane
like
personality, we'd be over the moon.
yeah, he'd be bonkers. The cavalry trait doesn't really do you anything except maybe let you play what's the one where if you have a cavalry guy and an infantry guy, it's free
Oh
versatile
yeah,
army.
versatile army.
Let you play some versatile armies. And this is a great sort of honor filler card where all I care about is good PH for gold. It doesn't get a lot better than this. So you're playing him in triplicate and honor, and you're never ever looking at him otherwise. Don't obsess about the magistrate trait. It's not that helpful.
Check. Let's talk about Yabusame.
Utaku Upasame. Riding a horse, so test passed. We're clear.
Yeah, we're clear.
Um,
Great. Straight to
3 for
Yabusame.
8. So 3 for 8 with an above starting honor requirement. So like
This
you're
is
gonna
better
be
be great.
you're asking a lot from this ability. Tireless battle, straighten if she's attacking and your family honor is higher than any other players. Well, that seems pretty weird,
But
but
not
maybe
bad. I
okay.
kind of like this
Yeah,
ability. It's a versatile.
feels like a straight effect.
You don't see straighten effects on guys as often as you'd think. And I like
Mm-hmm.
that. Do I like that it has
And then,
these weird conditions? No, but I
and then
like that
it
it's a
gets a
straighten effect.
repeatable battle, which is repeatable range to the attack. Hey, that actually seems pretty great. This guy seems pretty great.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Like, I didn't read that repeatable word. I guess, like, I saw it. I saw there was black text there. I was really focused on, okay, range 3. But repeatable with a built-in strain effect, like, dude, this might be gasoline. This might
Right.
be,
No,
like,
at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be that great of a card because you can get range 3 attack effects repeatable and otherwise in other avenues and other cards at slightly cheaper rate and put them on a slightly more versatile, a slightly more powerful body. But like, I absolutely understand looking at this card, seeing it, getting excited about it, thinking about the deck that you're going to build to incorporate this personality, and wanting to build that deck. Like that all makes sense to me. And this is absolutely a card that I'm going to want to build with and explore. And I think that's what I really want to see from my personalities, where it's like, is it exciting to me? Does it give me ideas? Do I want to sort of see? This is a card that at the end of the day I think isn't really going to be that good, but I can see it also being good, and so I want to play with it, and I'm excited about it. And how much is the cost in honor rack sort of too much? And how often do I get to hit multiple range attacks out of this card? But this is a really solid card.
No, I'm going to come down much more positively on this card than you. Because Unicorn's
Yeah,
sort of
you're just
a
you
mid
just think
honor
it's awesome.
faction. So this battle ability is going to be on against Scorpion, Crab, Mantis, Spider. Like that's not a bad, it's not a bad list. The fact that it's on against Mantis, like specifically, now you're on against half the field. Like that's pretty good.
Right.
And
The straightening thing, like any straighten effect works, right? So you
right,
can
and so
just
that's
fill
the
your
other
deck
thing.
with Ring of Air type effects. You can fill your deck with discovering the dice show of water, straighten your 3PH guy, and just shoot right away. So, like that interaction itself, just with discovering the dice show, I think is really great. Where it's like I shoot a thing, my guy's just sitting there bowed, so you're not targeting it, and then I just go straighten my guy, 3 more PH, I get a follow up, shoot you again, and like now I've just turned discovering the dice show of water into Saruchi technique, and that's great.
Right. So that was my second point, is that all military decks want a certain number of straighten effects in general. Just in the action mix that's played, you play your like 2 or 3 or 4 straighten effects. And this chick just launders them into Saruchi techniques if that's all you want to do. Like if you're playing a card like what was the courage one that's like straighten an opposed guy and gain an honor.
Sure.
If you're playing a card like that because you have a big attachment military deck and you want to straighten your guys from time to time, like and they're just not playing any bow effects, like okay, great, I throw it over here and I get another range 3 attack out of it.
I don't remember the game, the other one, but Relentless is the one that like I think you see a lot of play where it's like straighten the thing, give us something a +1 force or -1 force.
Yep.
So you could go like Relentless up my guy, I give your 4 force thing as force, and now I can shoot it. She's really great, and I mean, she's the only guy in my deck with above starting honor, but I think she'd be worth it as an above starting
Absolutely
honor guy.
no, and like 6 is just 1 pH bump to get to hit it.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
is it's
One
it's
guy.
a totally manageable starting honor requirement kind of guy. I love this card. This is an A+ for me. I'm gonna be, I'll be sitting and thinking of like, is there a way I can copy the ability onto like the right body? Like,
So I think that's sort of a table 27 sort of pull because I think in the actual world,
yeah, of course it is. But that's why this is an exciting card, man, because it gets the
No,
gears
I
turning.
agree. I'm high on it as a card. I love to see that card in the set. I think, once you start playing some, we'll see that like, she's not really as
But I
super
disagree. I think
powerful.
she's a solid role player.
Okay.
Period. With upside.
All right. Now we move on to one of the funner senseis to say, Minhee!
Minhee! Now, Minhee was totally awesome in Emperor. Let's see if she works as a sensei.
Kind of works as a sensei, I guess, is my answer. Like,
that gain
not,
one more, so the gain extra honor for battle resolutions was always like a funny ability. It was much better when it was just gain honor equal to the highest pH guy you had after you crack a province, because this requires you to like
right.
win opposed, which doesn't happen as much as you'd think. It's like in the last battle you win opposed.
Yep. So it is for every single card, which is like the big thing, right? So you gain a bunch of extra when you win. So instead of 2, you gain 3 per card. And so that's a significant flip of honor, right? It's generally 5 points of honor. And it gives you +1 starting honor, which isn't completely irrelevant. There's not a lot of 5 honor rec guys. I can think of a couple of the Utakus that are. There's a couple of 8s though, so like that's a bonus. You'll go first a little bit more often. Like I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then straighten the follower. So like this is one that is a lot like the Goju to me, where I feel like the downside is you can't move to battlefields without enemy units. That's a pretty marginal downside. If some decks want to build these big super cav units, but if you're not playing one of those decks, it's pretty easy to just play this and get some solid value from. So
yeah,
I
like this a lot. I think it's a great, like you're saying, like you go first more often, and you get this little straighten effect here and there, but it doesn't interact with your box. It doesn't say you can't use your box ability. It just says that your textbook cavalry is opposed. I think this likes to see a lot of play in non.
Will not move to battlefield. That doesn't apply to just the cavalry engagement. It applies to all movement. There's no like back to the front.
Sure. No sleazy nothing. But I don't know how much tricks like that exist anymore.
There's back front. There's cavalry stuff. That's pretty much it.
I don't know how much like tricksy sleaze decks even exist these days.
I should emphasize, I don't think that this deck is going to be like a defensive-y deck. I think maybe people envision this as a card for like build up a wall, never attack, always defend in battle resolution decks. I don't really like it there. I just like it as I'm attacking you. Maybe I kill a couple of your guys in resolution, and then it just gains a bunch of honor to let me maybe sort of do the sleaze out honor cross. That's sort of how I envision it as a switch deck.
I don't envision this as anything. I envision this as a total staple on. Like you make a determination that the downside is not that big, so you just throw it on to go first more.
Doubling up my followers onto a single unit, so whatever. Let's just have a way to straighten my Legions of the Con.
And like you get a straighten anyway, even if you don't have the highest family honor, like you don't care.
That's correct. Yep. So
So like it's all if
yeah, no.
you just have as a human you just have to sit and make this determination like is this a huge downside? And if you say no, just throw it in. You go, oh, I'm playing Sugenda, like whatever. Here's +1. Like start with an extra point of honor.
I really want to play the what I don't know what it's called, but there's an archers with a repeatable battle that's like
Yeah,
range 3
Yabajin
attack.
archers. Yeah,
So I really want to play like that with this sensei and the other guy, and just like look at me make repeatable battles. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Which
that's a
I
table
think that might
27 deck, but I'll build it.
But I think that might be really good, right? Like we haven't seen just straight a follow on a sensei. So like specifically those archers, where it's like I bought to make a range 3, and now you have to blow, and then I can be like
Yeah, but
straight my
those
follow.
archers, no matter how much we want it, man, they're still gonna be 2 force for 6 gold.
Yeah, they're still gonna die to Unholy Strike every time. But
Yeah, so
you know, I dare to dream. You can't take the sky from me. I knew you'd like that. I knew it in there, and it did. So I started really down on Unicorn, but I think I sort of talked myself up. So I actually think I'm higher on them now than when I first looked at them. So I think I'm gonna give them dead average. I'm gonna give them a straight 5. I think they're right in
yeah,
the middle of the pack.
I'm gonna go with like a 4.5. Like there was a couple good cards, and we're really excited about the one build around and the sensei. And like any points I give to Unicorn, I'm really just giving to those 2 cards.
Right.
There's the 2 force boxable Destin guy who's fine in like a deck that doesn't really hasn't really ever gonna come together. Unicorn honor. There's like a terrible Unicorn honor, a terrible military guy. Like aside from those two, yeah, 5. 5 is generous.
Yeah.
All right,
Dead
guys.
set average.
Catch you next time.